I think every time we see Emerson Mnangagwa with retired General Chiwenga, we witness the gestures that indicates that the two are no longer compatible with each the two cannot have a conversation with even those who actually are the supporters of these two or those who are working with these two. If they see them speaking together, if you look at the visuals that come through, they would be surprised, especially if they can actually see them laughing at each other. If they are communicating, look at even the body language of those who are cutting these two gentlemen whenever they are having a conversation. It appears somehow they get to lose how to deal with the situation because they understand it quite clearly that the tensions between these two are at a record. Not so good. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first person to watch us. So the question of the day is that we have, I've always asked myself, are these two gentlemen at some point going to be able to mend their relations? Because we know now it has been widely established that the fallout between Chiwenga and Mnangagwa began when Mnangagwa tested power on the very first day. They began to clash on a number of issues. And what we are seeing being evident, especially if you look at the pictures that are coming through, but sometimes may not even get the videos. That's why we are here to analyze. If you look at the pictures of today when Emerson Mnangagwa was speaking with retired General Chiwenga, number one, there was a time where Chiwenga was appearing, kneeling, talking with Emerson Mnangagwa. The face of Mnangagwa in speaking back to him looked like someone who was irritated to even talk with retired General Chiwenga. I remember at one point when Chiwenga was saying Mnangagwa, I think he was going to Angola. He had to ask him, so when are you going to come back? And that actually got to trend. Because how can you ask someone whom you are the vice president and we are left to act on his behalf? When is he going to come back? That on its own showed the nation that these two are not in communication terms and their relations have quite diminished significantly. And I think it is without doubt that that has been the order of the day. Now, today, if we are looking at Chiwenga and Mnangagwa, even when Mnangagwa was handing over the keys, I wish I can actually show you the pictures here. When Mnangagwa was handing over the keys to the chiefs, the people who were close to Mnangagwa, it was Daniel Gawes, the bootlickers of Emerson Mnangagwa, and even the lady who was actually giving Mnangagwa the keys to hand over to the chiefs. He bought them very expensive smartphones. He said these are smartphones that would be used to communicate with him, jokingly saying so. But I must say they should be very careful about these devices, as much as we also want the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces to be equally careful about these actually cheap, not cheap, but these expensive gifts that they receive specifically from the Mnangagwa faction. Why are they targeting all influential people in Zimbabwean societies and handing them cars, very expensive cars, monies, smartphones? Anyway, let me go back to the issue. So, when Mnangagwa was doing so, Chiwenga was sidelined. He was reduced to a spectator. I wish I can actually do this video. He was actually reduced. He was just watching from far at a distance, especially if you look at the picture that I put as a portrait here. You would see that Chiwenga is actually looking as a spectator. Mnangagwa was not even paying attention to him. In other countries, where a vice president as well as the president are united, whenever they are doing such a ceremony, you would see them doing alongside with other. Maybe Chiwenga would have carried the keys, and Mnangagwa most probably carrying cell phones and so forth, all of them handing these gadgets, greeting the chiefs. But Chiwenga was seemingly standing afar, watching, and that picture is a clear reflection that Mnangagwa is deliberately, and when they remember in Zimbabwe, everything is controlled, including the photographers. Before such pictures are released by the state, they actually go through vigorous scrutinization before they are released. So that picture, the pictures that came through the chiefs' meetings today, they depict Chiwenga as actually a spectator. They depict Chiwenga as a subordinate of Emmerson Mnangagwa, whom Mnangagwa can actually seriously addressing him, whilst he cannot look at the face of Emmerson. That is what these pictures that I have seen being circulated by the media essentially depict. And remember, media is also part of fighting a war. I've said this numerous times. That is why you would see if Russia actually manages to kill a Ukrainian soldier, whilst the cameras are on, they circulate such videos. If Ukraine does the same thing, whilst cameras are on, they equally circulate these videos. And these videos, by the way, they are formulating opinions about that particular war. So Mnangagwa, we know that he is in a war with retired General Chiwenga, succession war. So what comes out of media? That is why you have heard some of the private media when it writes about 2030 term extension, especially the media that is allowed to operate in Zimbabwe by the government of Emmerson Mnangagwa. The government is quick to actually threaten to withdraw their licenses, and to the West to ask them to actually withdraw. I've always said I don't like politicians who forces the media to withdraw their statements. I don't like that. Media is the fourth estate. It should be allowed to operate freely. It should be allowed to analyze events the way they see it, to write the stories the way they see it. Let the members of the public be the judge of their choice of media. By the way, they are human beings with brains, but in Zimbabwe, media is controlled. So such pictures circulated, especially by the state media, they serve to send a certain clear message. And it is quite clear from the body language of Mnangagwa, looking at the pictures as well as visuals, that there is a serious fallout these days and tensions between Chiwenga as well as Emmerson Mnangagwa. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okanqube Omhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you. Let's meet on the other side of the live.